Hello, how are you all? Welcome to this channel. I'm Mary Tajitos. In today's class, we are going to be making this model that has been requested a lot. We made it using twisted single crochet. This is a pouch-style bag or makeup bag, but we can also carry it for a night out because it's very elegant. Look how beautiful it is. Very eye-catching and very affordable. In this process, we used 540 grams of t-shirt yarn and its total weight. I'm going to leave it here on the screen for you. I'll show you so you can see all the details and finishes that we will be doing in this process. We are also going to make the base from scratch. Look how spacious it is. The inside of the bag is quite roomy. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any of our upcoming classes. Every week, I bring you tutorials of trendy designs, and the classes are completely free. The only thing I ask, which is very important to me, is that you leave me a like and write a comment as a sign of appreciation. This motivates me to keep sharing these beautiful classes with you. Without further ado, let's go to the list of materials and then to the step-by-step instructions. These are the materials we will be working with, and you can get them at your online store. Your supplies: a clasp frame measuring 16 centimeters wide by 18 centimeters long, scissors, a measuring tape, 2 rings, a 3 centimeter diameter carabiner, and a personalized plate with the channel's name. This last one is optional. A 6 millimeter crochet hook, this will be our main needle. A 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, this one is for hiding threads. And 80 centimeters of chain. We will be working with t-shirt yarn in skeins. Here I have 3 250 gram rolls for a total of 750 grams. It's a premium t-shirt yarn, lightweight type, very light and soft when crocheting, and it has a strand that's 3 centimeters wide. If you're interested in getting it, in the video description, I'll leave you the link to their shopping page. You'll also find there the exact amounts that I'm going to use for this project. Measurements and final weight of the bag. Let's start by working on the base of our bag. Here it is. I stretched and organized the t-shirt yarn very well. But to start, we need to take into account the measurements of the clasp frame. Regardless of which clasp frame you have on hand, you need to take these initial measurements. For the width, measuring only the inner part, we have 16 centimeters. And for the length, the inner part is 18 centimeters. We start with a slip knot. And we will crochet 14 chains. We have a loop on the hook. We yarn over and slip through. Inside this loop on the hook, we yarn over and slip through. This way, we will make the chains until we reach number 14. I finished the 14 chains, and they measure 11 centimeters long. Now, we are going to make one additional chain, and this will be our turning chain, for a total of 15 chains. We are going to crochet this base in a rectangular shape, using single crochet stitches. We are going to place this chain inside the clasp frame, and on each side there should be a 2 centimeter distance between the chain and the clasp frame. Regardless of the size of the clasp frame, this is how the chain should look. We start the single crochets from the back of the chain, where the little bumps are. We pass the hook under the second little bump. The first one is our turning chain, under each little bump. We're going to make one stitch in each bump until we reach the last little bump. We pass the hook under the second little bump, yarn over, pull through, and bring it forward. We lift up to the height of the little loop we have on the hook, yarn over, and pull through both loops. We insert the needle again into the next little bump, yarn over, lift up. Now we have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and close the stitch. This way, our single crochet stitches are forming. We insert the needle under the next one, and we make the stitch. We're going to make the last stitch. We insert the needles under the last ridge, yarn over, lift to the height of the loop that's on the hook, yarn over again, and pull through both loops. We finish the first row with a total of 14 single crochets. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14s. Notice that in this first row of single crochets, we've increased by 1 centimeter on each side. Now, instead of 2 centimeters of distance, we have only 1 centimeter between the crochet and the clasp. The single crochets measure 13 centimeters in length. This would be the ideal measurement to continue working on the base of our bag, because when we finish this centimeter, we will fill it with the single crochet border that we make at the end of the base. We position ourselves at the last stitch of the first round and make a turning chain. We turn the work, and we are going to start the second round by inserting the needle in the center. From the second chain, see that this first one is the turning chain we just made. We go under the entire chain, and that's where we are going to make the single crochets. In total, we are going to work 14 stitches. We insert the needle, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through both loops. Here we have our first stitch. We insert the needle under the next chain. We make it and add the second stitch here. This way, we will continue working. We are going to make the last stitch. Look here where you can see the last chain. Don't get confused with the chain you see on this side, because this is the turning chain, so it's always the last chain. Keep in mind to always count the 14 stitches. So with this, we complete stitch number 14, and that's how we finish the second row. We make a turning chain, turn the work, and we're going to crochet the third row. Following the same steps, we pass the hook under the second chain, making the first stitch here. The next one. And like this until you complete all 14 stitches. Let's make the last stitch. And with this, we complete the 14 stitches of this third row. If you see that when you crochet the base, it takes this shape, don't worry. You just need to adjust each row like this so the stitches get organized. It's important that when you crochet this base, you make the stitches nice and tight so the base turns out really firm. See how here we don't have any gaps between the stitches. You can't see them, which means the stitches are nice and tight. If you're crocheting and the stitches look really open, with a lot of space between them, try switching to a smaller hook so the stitches close up a bit. We're going to keep working on the rows of single crochet. I'll explain how you can follow along. You're going to take the piece and place it inside the clasp. You should leave 1 centimeter at the bottom. And keep going up until you leave 1 centimeter before reaching the clasp. There should be 1 centimeter at the top and 1 centimeter at the bottom. I'm going to finish the rounds, and then I'll show you how we're going to continue. I finished the rounds. I did 16 here. How are you going to identify them? The first round is where you can see the little ridge. The second one is where the full dot is. The third one is where the little ridge is. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16s. The number of turns will depend on the length of the nozzle you're working with. If your nozzle is smaller, you do fewer turns. And if it's a little bigger, then you'll do more turns. We place it inside the nozzle. And this is how it should look. Look, check out the size. We left space on each side, and at the top, we left 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter at the bottom. I'll give you the base measurements. In width, it's 14.5 centimeters high, and we have 15.5 centimeters. We're going to work a round of single crochet stitches around the piece to give the base its final finish. We are here at the last stitch of round 16. Look at it here, where it is. At this point, we are going to start the increases on this side. We have a little ear on the hook. We yarn over and make a turning chain. We place a marker at this point, in the stitch below, and in the last stitch I just showed you. In this one, notice it's the one that ends the round. There, we're going to make a stitch. We pass the hook through. We take the yarn. We make a stitch. With this stitch, we start the increase, and we will complete it at the end of the round by making the missing stitch here on this side. So let's continue working. The single crochets here, making a stitch under this little ridge. Look at it here. And we'll make a stitch. Here on this side where the yarn is, we're going to take the first and the second one that's on the back side. See how you can see a little chain? Here we have a ridge, we make a stitch. Here it is, 4, 5. So under the ridge, under the chain, that's where we'll work single crochets. We pass the hook under the ridge. We already have the single crochets ready under the chain. Under the ridge. Ready under the chain. Under the chain. Under the chain. And here, on top of the bump, look, here on the bump, we're going to make the last stitch. Look, here's the bump on this side where we're working. One stitch on top of each bump, this would be the last one. Down here goes the stitch. And now we're done. We finished the stitches on this side with 15 stitches, not counting the first stitch of the increase. We're going to work the stitches on this side. We're going to do these under the whole chain. And in this first one, look here, we're going to make the triple increase. That means 3 stitches inside this stitch. To give our base a curved shape, we insert the hook under the chain. We yarn over, lift to the height of the little loop on the hook, yarn over again, and close the stitch. We go through that same space again, and we're going to make the second stitch. We go through again to complete the third stitch. I finished the increase on this side, and look how our base is taking shape. Now we're going to complete the stitches on this side. We'll work a total of 12 stitches until we reach the second to last chain. We pass the hook under the next chain. See that here is the triple increase, and right next to it is the full chain. We yarn over and make a stitch here. These little stitches, since they're from the initial chain, are going to be quite tight. So we're going to make the stitches on this side very carefully. Finish the 12 single stitches, and here in this last chain, we're going to make the triple increase just like we did on this side. Look, here's the last stitch, and right next to it we have the slip stitch from the beginning. Let's loosen this little knot. Let's adjust it. Look, we still have the chain there. We're going to go through that chain and make the 3 stitches. We have 1, 2, and 3. We've completed the increase on this side. We're going to work single crochets here just like we did on this side. We insert the hook under this chain. Look, here are 2 strands, 1 and 2 on top of the ridge. Look here where you can see the row of ridges. We pass the hook through, and here we make the first stitch. We're going to make the second stitch here where the ridge is. The next one. Look here where the 2 strands are. Here is the little bump. On this side, the 2 strands. The little bump, the 2 strands. Do this until you have all 15 stitches. We'll use this time to hide this strand under the stitches as we go. We make the first one here. And on this side, the second stitch. Here, where the 2 strands are. Here, underneath the little bump. Underneath the 2 strands. We're going to make the last stitch here. Look where you can see the 2 strands. We complete the 15 stitches without counting the increase stitch. We're going to make the stitches on this side, starting the increase here in the first chain. Look here where it is. We pass the hook through. We take the yarn, lift it up, and make the first stitch. We pass the needle through again. Here we make the second stitch and the third stitch. We finish the increase on this side. We are going to work 12 single crochets under each chain until we reach the stitch before the marker. I finished the 12 stitches. We are going to complete the increase on this side. Here we have a turning chain. And under that stitch, we already have a stitch. We're going to work a stitch into the chain where we made the previous stitch, right here in this space. So we have 2 stitches from the increase. Now we're going to remove the marker here. And to complete the 3 stitches, we're going to pass the yarn under this chain. When we finish off, we complete the 3rd stitch. So to finish off, we're going to cut this yarn. We pull it out. We pass the needle under the first full chain. Not the turning chain, but the full chain above the first stitch. We pass the needle from back to front. We take the yarn we set aside, and we take it to the back. Here we adjust a little. We pass the needle again through the center of the last chain, from the back part where the little ridge is. Make sure it comes out in the center. We take the strand and bring it to the back. We tighten the stitch very well. We have the starting stitch, the chain stitch we made for the closure, and the last stitch we made on this side. Look at it here, 1, 2, and 3. Let's hide the leftover yarn under the bottom part of the stitches. finished hiding the yarn here at the tip. On the underside, you're going to put a dot of silicone glue or make a simple stitch with needle and thread to keep the yarn from coming out. Here is the excess. We cut it. And we hide the tail like this. We cut it. We finished the base. Look how it turned out. Pretty firm. The stitches are nice and even. See that we don't have any gaps between the stitches. That means the base is well structured. Here we have made a total of 66 stitches. We worked 12 stitches before the increases. On this side and on this side. Here on the sides we make 15 stitches, not counting the 3 stitches for the increase. Let's check the size of the base with the clasp. We don't have any excess. Look, we don't have any extra space left. The base fits perfectly for the clasp we're going to use. Remember, we'll make the stitches for the base depending on the size of the clasp you have on hand. If your clasp is bigger, you'll make more chains at the beginning and work more rows for height. If the clasp is smaller, you make fewer chains and, of course, work fewer rows for height. Taking into account the explanation I gave you at the beginning, this base measures 17 centimeters wide and 18 centimeters high. We are going to start the body of the bag, and we will work it from the base. Look, here it is right side up. Let's turn it over. We need to place it this way with the wrong side facing up. And notice that here you can see the ridges facing up. You can start anywhere, at any of these stitches. I'm going to start over here. We're going to leave a strand to hide it underneath, pass the hook under the entire chain, yarn over, and bring it forward. Lift it up. Here, we're not going to close the stitch, but instead we're going to turn the needle like this. It should look twisted like this. Yarn over and pass it through the loop we have on the hook. Here, we've made a twisted single crochet, and with this stitch, we're going to work the entire body of the bag. It's a very beautiful stitch. We've already done it here on the channel, and it gives a spectacular finish. Let's keep working. We pass the hook under the next chain and take the opportunity to hide the leftover yarn. Then we come back. We yarn over. Here you can adjust a little and turn the hook. You should always turn the hook inward. And the yarn should look like this, twisted. You have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through both. This way you close the stitch, then insert the hook again. Under the next chain, yarn over, adjust here, turn and lift to the height of the loop that's on the hook. Yarn over and close the stitch. In this first round, we are not going to make any increases. We are just going to work. 1 stitch into each chain, insert the needle under the next one, yarn over, turn, lift up. Now we have 2. Yarn over and close the stitch. We turn, lift up, yarn over, and close the stitch under the next one. This is how the stitches will look, and as you keep doing it, you'll get a little faster. Remember that practice is everything, so we need to keep practicing so our stitches look much nicer. We pass the hook under the next chain, yarn over, turn, yarn over again, and close the stitch. Let's make the last stitch. We pass the needle under the chain, yarn over, turn, lift up, yarn over, and close the stitch. I finished this first row. Look at how the stitches look. We lift up this little loop, pass the needle under the entire chain from back to front, place the reserved little loop on the needle, and take it to the back. Here we reserve it. This is how we will do the closing in every row. We finished this first one with 66 stitches, the same number of stitches we ended the base with. We are not going to make any increases or decreases. We will work one stitch under each chain. In every round, as you go along, arrange the stitches like this so they get organized. Let's start the second round. We pass the needle under the strand that we brought to the back, between these two stitches. Look, you can see the space right there. We place the reserved loop on the needle and tighten the long strand. Until this strand is the same size as the other stitches, we yarn over, bring it to the front, and this way we will open all the rounds. Look, here we have a loop on the hook. We are going to turn the needle inward. We give it a little height, yarn over, and pull through this, and here we have the first stitch. And we're going to pass the needle under the next chain. And we yarn over, bring it forward, turn the hook, raise it to the height of the little loop that's on the hook, yarn over and close the stitch, then pass the hook under the next chain. We turn, raise it, yarn over, and close the stitch. We are going to continue working the stitches this way. Under each chain stitch until we get here to the last one. Let's make the last stitch. We pass the needle under the chain stitch, yarn over, turn, lift up, yarn over, and close the stitch. We finished the second row. Now let's close it. We pass the needle under the first chain stitch. From back to front, place the reserved loop and pull it to the back. We tighten the stitch, pass the needle under the strand we brought to the back, in between the two stitches, and place the reserved loop. We tighten the strand here. We take the strand and bring it forward. We turn. We take the strand and close. Here we have started the third round. We are going to continue making the twisted stitches like this, and I will show you up to what height and how many rounds we are going to do. I finished the rounds going up. Here I did a total of 14. I'm going to show you how the stitches turned out. Look how beautiful they are, all the same size and very well organized. How are you going to identify each round? Here we can see the first ridge. This is the first round we made. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It has a measurement of 16.5 centimeters in height. We are going to finish this last round, go to the last stitch we made, and here we are going to cut the yarn. We pull out this little ear. We are going to pass the needle under the first chain, take the reserved yarn and pull it to the back. Here we are going to make a chain. We pass the needle again through the center of this last chain, first passing it from the back where the little ridge is. Here, we take the yarn again and pull it to the back. Here we are going to tighten this chain so that it ends up the same size as the one in front. And this way, we have finished this last round. We're going to hide the leftover yarn under the stitches, just like we did before. We finished this part of the bag before continuing with the process. If it happens that while working on the project, you've changed the stitches, or if the clasp is much smaller and you don't know what height to give the piece, are you going to join the two sides like this while you're crocheting? And if these two fit together perfectly, so that the body of the bag looks like this, see that it's not very stretched, but they are joined together. That's the ideal height. And if they still don't meet, you need to keep working the rounds until these two sides join together. If you want to make it taller, there's no problem. Just keep doing the rounds until you reach the desired height. We're going to divide our piece into two parts. Remember that we worked on a base of 66 stitches. We're going to divide 33 stitches and 33 stitches on this side. Let's arrange the piece. Thank you. Like this. Here, in the stitch that's in the middle of these two, see, it's right in the center, we place a marker. After the marker, we're going to count 33 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 30, 31, 32, 33. We place the other marker on stitch 33. On this side, after the marker, we should also have 33 stitches until we reach this marker. Please check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 30, 31, 32, 33 stitches. Now that we have the piece divided, let's place the clasp to see if the markers are positioned in the correct spot. Where should the markers be placed? Right here where the hinge of the clasp is, where the closure is. Look! Here they are correctly placed because now we're going to work single crochets on the clasp. So what are we going to do? We're going to make 32 stitches on each side of the clasp. And here, where stitch 33 should go, we're going to make a chain stitch in the air. On this side, we're also going to make 32 stitches. And on this side, where the marker is, see, it's where the hinge is. We're going to make a chain. We start the stitches with the clasp facing right side out. We start from this side. We make a slip stitch here. We chain up. We pass the little stitch inside the clasp. We place the hook. And here we make the stitch. Look, we're going to do it right here next to the clasp. We're going to hide this strand under the stitches. Here, it's very important to arrange the strand so that the opening faces inward, so the stitches stay well organized. Stitch. See how it ends up right next to the hinge. We finished the 32 stitches, and look how well organized they turned out. If you see that you don't have enough space when making them, just slide them along like this until they're nicely arranged. We're going to make a chain to keep working on this side, and so that here at the hinge, there isn't any stitch that could block the closure. We pull up this loop and make a chain. We make the next stitch on this side. We continue working single crochet stitches, making sure the yarn is positioned neatly. Let's do stitch number 32. We finished the stitches on this side, and look how neatly they turned out. This is how the clasp frame looks. Let's close it off. We cut this strand. We pull it through. When we close the round, we'll complete the chain stitch we're missing on this side. We pass the needle from the bottom of the first chain stitch. We take the yarn we set aside, and we take it to the back. We adjust here a little, and we pass the needle again under the last chain. And under the little loop that's on the back side, we yarn over, and we take it to the back. We finish this chain, just this size. And from the bottom part, we're going to weave in the yarn tail. I finished hiding the yarn. Here at the bottom, it's very important to put a drop of silicone so the yarn doesn't come out. We finished covering the clasp frame. Look how the stitches turned out. Very neat. The yarn ends are nicely tucked in. We made a total of 66 stitches, which is the same number of stitches we have on our bag. We made 32 single crochets and a chain stitch. 32 single crochets. And here, and where we make the closure, we simulate the missing chain stitch. We are going to place the clasp frame on our bag, positioning it where the markers are. Now we're ready to start sewing. We'll use pieces of fabric yarn to secure the clasp frame. We're going to pass this through here where the markers are. And we're going to tie a little knot, and two. Now we can remove the marker from this side. We also pass it through on this side, where the marker is. Here in the center, we're going to do the same thing. This is to prevent the stitches from slipping when we crochet. We're going to start joining the clasp with the body of the bag. We're going to do this with slip stitches. I'll show you where to insert the needle. Look, here on the clasp we have a full chain, and here on the body of the bag we also have a full chain. Each chain is on top of the other. Look, we're going to pass the needle first through the chain that's on the clasp, right in the center. And then we're going to pass the needle through the center of the chain on the body of the bag. Here. In the next stitch, in the center of the chain on the clasp, and then in the center of the chain on the bag. We pass the needle through the center of the chain on the clasp, and then we go here to the center of the chain on the bag. Look, it's the next stitch where the two stitches join. We take the yarn, leaving some space to hide it later. I finished stitching this side. We've reached here where the clasp is. We remove this yarn. We make the second to last stitch. And here we have the loose chain. We go through the center of that chain. And in the stitch that's at the bottom, look, here's the chain. We go through the center. Here we have the chain. And we make a slip stitch. We go through the next one. and in the center of the chain below. We keep working like this all along the edge until we reach the next to last stitch. I finished stitching this side. Let's do the last two. We remove the yarn here. We pass the needle through the center of the top stitch and through the center of the stitch that's on the bottom part. We make a slip stitch. And here we're going to make the last stitch. We go through the chain on top and through the chain on the bottom. We make a slip stitch here. We're going to cut this strand. We pull it out, just like that. And we're going to finish it off like this. And here we have the first chain. We go under this part. Just like that. We insert the needle into the center of this last chain from the back, and we grab the yarn and pull it to the back. This way, we've simulated the last stitch. And look, the finish is perfect. These yarn ends are left here in the back. We're going to hide them underneath the stitches. I've already tucked the yarn ends under the stitches. And I want to show you how the slip stitches turned out. Look at how the seam looks. The stitches turned out even and well organized. Look how pretty they are. Let's close the bag so I can show you how it looks. Here we arrange the stitches. And look at this beautiful result. It turned out beautiful. Look at the finish of the stitches. The base turned out quite structured. Look how firm it feels. We're going to be putting on this hardware. We open the bag a little here. And here at the bottom, we're going to place the snap hook ring. Here, under the clasp. Look, we're taking the two stitches that are right underneath. On this side, look, here are the two stitches. We finished putting on the hardware. Here, I put the tag with the name of the channel. And with this, we finished the whole bag making process. I'll give you the final measurements. In height. Open. It's 19 centimeters in width. It's 21 centimeters. In height. Closed. It also has 19 centimeters. I'm showing you how spacious the bag is inside. Look how big it is. We finished today's class. I hope you enjoyed the whole process and that you put it into practice. If that's the case, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment as a sign of appreciation. See you in the next class. God bless you. Bye.